If you want to hear and see more content like this, make sure you subscribe and follow. Today, I'm having a conversation with Dominic Dillon for the KAIROS Pro Jiu Jitsu podcast. Dom, how are you doing?
Really good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Really nice to have you here. The second up on the podcast for season 3 of the KAIROS Pro Jiu Jitsu, which is coming up on the 16th of November, in 2025, if you're listening presently. How excited are you? Because this is your very first KAIROS event.
I'm really excited. I think the format is something that I've been interested to do. Like, there's a few comps that have had similar things, and it's a concept that really intrigues me, as well as obviously finding out, not knowing yet who's in the bracket. Like, that excites me a lot because, the kind of
Oh,
prize will bring out a lot of very dangerous people.
yes, it will, Dominic. Yes, it will. This event is sponsored by 866 Jiu Jitsu Wellness Camp in Whaley Bridge, the Gi Repair Lab, Scramble Brand, the Jiu Jitsu Lube podcast, Two Chefs, and Tansoft. Dom, so you don't know who else is in the bracket yet. I do know there are a number of competitors. Obviously, we've heard from Daniel DeGroot already. Did you see his performance on the last Kairos?
Yes, yeah, I watched that. It was quite interesting for it to be a gi match, because obviously he's more known for his no gi. Tommy I've known for a number of years, so I know quite a lot about his game. So it was
Yes.
very interesting to watch it play out.
And do you think they played out their individual games, or were they playing each other's game?
Um, I think I think like it they were both there are periods where it's quite close as well, but I think Daniel kind of
Yeah.
took over for a lot of it. I think you could say, like Tommy has quite a versatile game, so you can never kind of sleep on him or count him out in a match. But to me, it kind of looked like Daniel was more or less taking it where he wanted for a lot of it.
Nice. And are you going to be playing your game, or are you going to be adapting to your kind of competitor's game? What's your game plan, Dom?
I mean, my game is generally to adapt to my competitors. I have quite a unorthodox style, and it can be quite counterpunchy in a way. So I often do build my attacks off my opponent's attacks.
Okay.
So yeah.
And is that what's meant by your unorthodox style, or is there other elements that kind of factor in that overall kind of caveat for your game?
Yeah, I mean, more or less, like while I think like as a sort of start, I like counter punching, trying to turn my opponent's positions into my attacks. Also, the attacks I use are quite they're less common. You won't see them thrown out there a lot of the time. That's something I really like. Like for me, a big like driving force is trying to catch things with people, which afterwards they have to ask me what it was.
Oh,
So yeah.
we're ramping up the excitement with whoever you're matched with, or the number of matches, I should say, because I'm not sure what the minimum number of matches are, but I feel like you're going to have your work cut out with your opponents. But we're also going to see some really exciting, unusual things. Now, do you think Tom and Chelsea commentating on the matches, they're going to know your game a bit more and be able to describe what's going on, or is there going to be something really left field for them?
I mean, I've had both of them commentate some of my matches before on Polaris, and I think when I hit a reverse bulldog choke for the first time on one of the Polaris matches, Tom actually was the only one who called it by reverse bulldog choke. Braulio wasn't quite sure what it was, whereas he actually knew the name. So Tom, like quite a lot of guys I know quite well train at Tom's, and so I feel like Tom has a awareness of my game that should
Yeah.
able to. Probably a lot of my stuff he's come across on like Instagram or commentating my
Yeah.
matches on different promotions.
Okay, for those of us that haven't heard of the reverse bulldog choke, please just give us a quick rundown so that we can partially visualize it and be able to identify it on the day of KAIROS, please.
Yeah, okay. I mean, to be honest, I started calling it a reverse bulldog choke when I first started doing it, but I kind of regret it a little bit because the longer I've been doing it, I feel it's more a kind of version of a reverse north-south mechanic wise. But basically, if you think like a scarf hold, but you don't have the arm in, so you purely got their head, like their neck, and basically you try and close off a circle of contact the whole way around the neck. So the arm closes off one side, and then you use your ribs and your lat, kind of like in a north-south, to close off the other side of the neck. And yeah, basically just squeeze until the head pops off.
Nice. I like that idea. And I've been working on my own game. I'm nowhere near your level, Dom, but you know, kind of that vacuum seal everything, squeeze everything together until, you know, the joint or the body part pops, I guess. Now, have you made anybody's joints pop in the past, Dom?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to fight MMA and stuff. I'd say I broke a few arms in MMA competitions. I don't think I've really injured, maybe the odd one. More in jiu-jitsu. I find people tend to hold out in chokes more than joint locks. Like there seems to be, you know, they understand like it's, you know, the amount of competition and stuff. People don't like want to die as much as in an MMA fight, it seems. So yeah, normally I find like it's more putting people to sleep or something like that. But obviously with $2.5 grand on the line, I'm imagining people don't want to tap to anything. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that changes, you know, thinking about tapping to an armbar after one pop is, you know, they'll see if they can get out still.
Goodness me, I think I'm going to be, I'm actually going to be at the event. And if I was at home watching the live stream, I would be sat on the edge of my seat, probably for every single match. It is likely to be incredibly exciting. The kind of emotion and the kind of just the intensity of KAIROS is just building as we speak. What does your game look like, if you're able to disclose anything, or are you just literally mirroring, kind of countering your opponent? What can we see?
I'm quite like I attack the neck a lot. I like using like things like crucifix and high ground quite a bit. I like to keep the movement going. Like the main thing is I like this, you know, dominant positions that I'll try and like consolidate things, but I do a lot of my work in the scramble, and I like to try and catch people like between transitions. So normally it's quite active, and I try and not let my opponent settle. So I can kind of keep trying to feed them into something. But yeah, a lot of kimuras and neck attacks are kind of cornerstone of my game.
Okay, so kind of a lot of kind of upper body, top body positions is your...
Yeah, like I'm less of a leg locker. I have a few wins by leg lock, including a flying scissor heel hook, although I'm not sure if flying scissors are allowed at KAIROS. It's probably not in the gi anyway. But yeah, that's again
sounds...
yeah. But
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that's again the great thing about like having the matches might be gi or no gi. It's like you know there's there's different techniques available and allowed. So it's you know, it switches it up and makes it very tricky to game plan in effect, because obviously you've got a pool of people that you're going to be fighting, which up to, I mean, I'm not sure when we're revealed which you know, bracket we're in. But yeah, you know, and then even if once you know who you're fighting, you don't know if you're fighting them gi or no gi, so it changes things so much.
It's so exciting. Now, you mentioned about having a kind of an active game. Has that always been your strategy, or is that something you've learned over the years, Dom?
That's been more something probably since like maybe late brown, early black. Like I used to be like when I fought MMA and stuff, I was very much like take people down, suffocate from top half guard, that kind of thing, and kind of advance slowly. And that was a lot of like while my wrestling style game for jiu-jitsu for a long time. It was really when I started getting very good at finishing submissions and feeling confident in finishing submissions not really worrying about being in bad positions, like my defense picking up and just jiu-jitsu kind of rounding out for me. I was able to relax and just like let movement happen a lot more.
Nice. I like that. There's hope for any of us that have a much slower wrestling game. I'm not admitting to anything right now, but the active movement on the mats is always great for spectators. Are you considering how people watching and kind of there kind of taking on your game and seeing your performance?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I like to think that I have a fairly spectator friendly style, and I think it's normally quite interesting to people viewing to watch my matches. But obviously, it takes two. But fortunately, in the lighter weight divisions as well, you're not normally starved for like active people. Like generally speaking, as you get below the low 70s, the pace is normally quite high.
Yeah. Very, very exciting. And I love the fact that this time KAIROS are featuring the under 66 kg guys. Last time it was the under 55 females. And I'm sure it will be a female division next time. And of course, the price pot is now up to £2,500. And that will continue for the next female division, whenever that will be. But how are you feeling about this, potentially walking away with £2,500, Dom?
Oh, I mean that's a lovely bonus to competing. I mean, yeah, that's a great prize to be able to compete for. It's lovely to have these in jiu-jitsu now. Like that's more than I got paid for a lot of MMA fights, some of which I left in an ambulance. So yeah, that's amazing.
Okay. the bonus is coming to you, Dom. I can feel it now.
Yeah.
So before we started recording, you're based in Brighton and you've got a young family, and you mentioned about going away on holidays. Now, like any good jiu-jitsu parent, there is jiu-jitsu involved when you go on holiday. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so like the kind of summer trip this summer during school holidays was I took both my daughters to Paris, and we booked a grappling industries while we were there as well. So we like had a few days there, and then we did that before we're coming back. So yeah, my eldest Isabel is really into jiu-jitsu, really competitive. Like she loves the competitive side of it. And my youngest, she likes it, but it's very much she enjoys the activity of it. So I always say, like, when she's rolling, if she's getting smashed or if she's smashing someone, she has the same kind of smile on her face. She just likes it. And
nice. I love that approach.
It's brilliant. But obviously, like competition wise, it's like, she'll be rolling with like a kid, and if she's getting better too much, she'll kind of pull back a bit, let them work a little. Whereas my eldest, like if she can submit someone 14 times in a 4-minute round, she will. Like she's which is great for competition. And so it's like this kind of balance. But my youngest started wanting to compete, so I've much to some tears, I've been trying to make her a bit more aggressive in training for it. But she won her first match in Paris, so she had a couple of competitions and lost on points and stuff. But she and they mixed the boys and the girls. So my youngest Ellie, she was the only girl in like a 10 kid division, and she fought 8 boys, so 4 in gi and 4 in no gi, and to be honest, she got like smashed 7 times, but she won one via rear naked face crank. Actually, it was like
wow,
just like bang, because grappling industry is basically let the kids do nearly anything. But
I love that. I love that.
So it was a good day, and I competed, and my eldest competed. She got gold in the gi and silver in no gi. So yeah, it was a fun little trip with quite a lot of jiu-jitsu mixed in.
I love that. And they'll be there supporting you at the actual event.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's kind of thing that no, they're very good. Like my eldest Isabella's cornered me at a few things. So I had a super fight in the Netherlands earlier this year, and she like
Yep.
cornered me for the match and everything, and warms me up before matches. She's now getting like big enough. She's 12 now, but quite tall, so she's
Yep.
yeah, she can like help me prep and corner me. It's
Good.
quite cool.
Do you know what I was going to ask if one of your kids corners you, or who was going to be there cornering you? But it sounds like this is a family thing, and you've got it covered, Dom.
Yeah. I mean, my brother might come up as well. So he lives in Norwich, so he's not far from it. And
Yep.
he runs the UEA Jiu Jitsu team, so he's a black belt as well. So
Amazing.
he'll probably come along. But yeah, my daughters will definitely be in the corner, and probably the loudest.
Good. Well, we'll be all cheering you on, Dom. Now talk to me about where you train and what your kind of training schedule in the run up to Kairos is looking like.
Okay, yeah. So I train and teach at Elements Martial Arts in Brighton, which is like 10-minute cycle ride down the road, so perfect. And basically for this one, because like I'm getting a bit older now. I've been doing master divisions more and stuff, and obviously this kind of tournament is going to bring out a lot of some seasoned guys as well, but a lot of like young hungry guys, I think.
Yep.
It's one that I look at it as, I don't never say like a last push, but definitely it's like I'm pulling out like all the stops of like really pushing myself for this. I'm getting all the young guys in the gym to just like beat this shit out of me, basically. So like we've got some very talented young brown belts that I train with a lot, which Robbie and Ollie, who are both well, Robbie's having his Polaris debut on the next show, so he's very good level,
Fantastic.
competes a lot. And they're both bigger than me, which is great as well. But yeah, I've basically just been having them and Yusuf, my coach, and several others of the ones just like really put me through hell, and
Yeah.
something I'm going to continue through this. And it's it's great because I got the balance. They've bigger guys, so I get to deal with that like strength and pressure, and then I've got a
Yeah.
lot of really good lighter training partners like Mo Douglas and Anna Zeffand and Emma Hitchcock. They're all like around my weight or a bit lighter,
Yeah.
so I get to work with that speed, because obviously power and pressure is great, but at 66 you got a lot of guys zipping all over there, and it's like
Yeah.
Robbie's awesome, but he's not going to be doing a diving burn bowl back take anytime soon. So
I love
it's
it.
like you got balance it out to try and prepare for all eventualities.
I feel like I need to go and do some kind of swatting up on unusual moves, just so that I can keep track of your game, Dom. Do you have any good reference points for any of us to go and do a little bit of research prior to Kairos?
I mean, I've got like, quite a few instructionals out and quite a lot of videos of my matches, but I try and emulate, and it's been kind of my like idol and hero is Sakuraba. I try and emulate a lot of his kind of style.
Yeah.
So that's always been yeah, sort of my gold standard of kind of
Yeah.
creative unpredictability.
Nice. I love it. Now, kind of going to the other end of the scale, for those of us kind of newer to jiu-jitsu in the last few years, what advice would you give to us to kind of set our goals for taking part in something like KAROS in the future?
Um, I think obviously the kind of easy answer is compete, like trying to get as much experience and exposure as possible
Yeah.
is very important. Obviously, one of the big things which I like about Kairos, which is maybe I don't know, not as popular with a lot of the guys who are trying to set themselves up as like professional grapplers, is that it's a gi and no gi event. A lot of the guys who are like, oh, I'm going to really like take this grappling seriously, go full time, they're diving headfirst into the no gi scene and
Yeah.
kind of excluding the gi, which I think is an error in a sense, because obviously there's opportunities like this, which there's lots of grapplers that in my mind that when I'm going through, and I'm like, oh no, they won't be in it, they never do the gi, and
Yeah.
obviously that's, I mean, miss out on an event like this.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and obviously, as my coach always says as well, it's like you always have the ability to then teach both as well. So it's I think people dismissing the gi entirely. Like, I understand if people have a preference. I've gone through some phases where I've had preferences and probably still have some bias in certain areas. But I think it's having a as balanced game as possible can really stand you a stead to take opportunities. Because even events like Polaris and stuff, they have gi matches and no gi matches. You might, if you're doing both, you double your chances of being offered a match or something like that. You know, it's I think that's compete as much as you can, but also don't run away from the gi.
It sounds like great advice. Maximizing every opportunity in the gi and no gi, competing on all sorts of different platforms, and just kind of more than showing up, but kind of honing your skills. Do you think that your game is as good as it is because of your kind of gold standard of kind of, role model out there that works for you? Do you think that's part of your greatness in the sense of this, if you permit me to say that?
Oh, please feel free. I think to an extent, yes, definitely. One of the big things that I always felt coming from Sakuraba whenever I'd watch his matches and stuff is that he had, like, obviously he was fighting to win, but there was a kind of fearlessness in the fact that he wouldn't play it safe. I think sometimes we get very overly concerned with winning, that it makes us hesitate or not try certain things, which that I try and get like stamp out as much as possible. Like I rarely want to end the match and go like, oh, I wish I'd gone for that, if only I'd tried that, or I thought about doing this. Like I remember a time, I think it was a purple belt, and this guy like scooted in straight away, and I wanted to try and hit a diving Kimura, which later became like a staple of my game, but I kind of like hesitated, and then we got wrapped up in the guard. I think I got toe holded or something, and all afterwards, the whole thing, I was like, oh, I should have just gone for that. And even the guy afterwards was like, oh, I thought you were going to jump on that Kimura there, and I was like, I should have. So like since that kind of time, I've just always tried to be, I'd rather suffer from the consequences of my actions rather than the consequences of inaction, basically.
Good. Just going for it. That sounds like a really good strategy. If the thought's there, then just do it, because like your opponent kind of called you out. He thought you were going to go for it. So
yes, Igor Tureko, I think, who he doesn't compete so much anymore, but he was competing a lot back then. It's you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
That's it. Fantastic advice. Dom, I am so excited to see you on KAIROS. I'm really pleased it's your first event, and I hope you walk away with that prize money to continue your family passion of competing all over the world in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Thank you. Me too.
Amazing. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tell your friends about this show, and maybe even drop it a rating and a review. And just to recap on the sponsors for KAIROS, 866 Jiu-Jitsu Wellness Camp, Gi Repair Lab, Scramble Brand, Jiu-Jitsu Lube Podcast, Two Chefs, and Tansoft. Catch you on the next episode.